Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have this little, dilemma. Question. How is it that in Ukraine, Zelensky and his clique find a lot of corruption everywhere else but in their circle? In the past, I don't know, about year and a half almost, I kept reading articles coming from Ukraine where Zelensky arrests that or his secret services arrest that person, and they put all kind of charges, accusations against them. Some of them before were about collaboration with the Russians. This was the main, spies, traitors, things like this. Now, being in the past, 7 months, they started with something else. Since one of the European Union's supposed requirements is corruption. And Zelensky started fighting a lot of corruption in his country, but he solves it. He is the person, what's his name? Robespierre. Incorruptible, that was his name, Robespierre. Remember how he ended up? Well, I will get to that at the end of this video. It's just strange that he finds so much corruption outside of his circle. It's suspicious to me. But hey, I'm a little bit crazy, so I think it makes sense. Now I will show you a few articles, recent articles, where Zelensky just fired left and right on corruption charges. Now they conducted investigations and all that. He must be, a okay man, like a semi-saint. So this article came from today, actually. This filled the glass for me from August 25, 2023. Two Ukrainian officials misappropriated $1.6 million, anti-corruption agency says. In what country can you just misappropriate $1.6 million? A rich country or a country that receives a lot of money. Well, if these guys, supposedly, two Ukrainian officials, misappropriated, can you imagine how much others did? So when some people, claim without evidence that Zelensky and all his clique that is clear it's not corrupt, might have a lot of money stashed somewhere, I wonder how these officials can grab $1.6 million, or right? But Zelensky and these guys, no. They must be special people, don't you think? I think so too. So let's look over the first line here. Two high-ranking Ukrainian officials have been embroiled in a corruption scandal as the government of President Volodymyr Zelensky continues its anti-corruption push. First Deputy Minister of Agrarian Policy, nothing related with the guns, and an unnamed former Deputy Minister of the Economy were found to have misused about $1.68 million in funds. Okay, so this is one. We go to another one, which is, again, from today, August 25, 2023. Ukraine's Cabinet of Ministers dismisses head of state emergency service after internal audit. This is today. I said this is a purge because a lot of these guys, I think, are rounded up and you're never going to hear from them. Not only based on, being accused of corruption, but also of cooperating with the enemy, collaborating. So remember when it was that Georgian guy called Stalin, the communist, right, in charge of Soviet Union? He, it was that term, the enemy of the Soviet people. And he had another guy called Kaganovich. Look him up. I suggest you look in Kaganovich early life so you can find his origins. Supposedly, he used to tell Stalin, "You give me the name, and I'll find you the crime." So, regardless, they find you the crime immediately. So that's the second right here. Let's see if they say something in the first paragraph. Ukraine's cabinet minister has dismissed Serhiy Kruk as head of the State Emergency Service following an internal audit. The government has decided to dismiss this guy from his post as head. The duties of the head of the state emergency have been assigned to another guy. All right. It says the internal audit of the SES has been completed. Further personal decisions will be made based on the results. All right. So this is, it seems like because of that helicopter crash where those guys died in 18th of January 2023. Doesn't matter. They're going to get these guys without problem. Let's go to the next one. This is an older one. This is from August 11, 2023. Zelensky says all officials in charge of military recruitment offices dismissed amid corruption scandal. Full of corruption, but around this guy. Can you believe that? I can't. I cannot. And he dismissed all. How is that possible? Really, all of them? Or he just said, you know what, fuck it, all of them out. Because he can't stand corruption. And let me show you this guy here. Maybe you're familiar with this guy. Robespierre, nicknamed the Incorruptible. Remember him? The French Revolution, 1791, tralala. So this guy, right here, Robespierre was nicknamed the Incorruptible. L'Incorruptible, and in French. The Constituent Assembly even addressed him by this epithet at its last session. Robespierre's act was rigidly adhered to, which led to the unusual situation where most of the Legislative Assembly members were inexperienced people. Later, the Incorruptible also introduced a reign of terror to France. While being perhaps personally implacable, Robespierre was also utterly merciless towards his opponents. Do you remember how he ended up, Robespierre? I think he instituted the guillotine, didn't he? Well, he died by it as well. So, my friends, it's just for me, just as life experience, okay, life experience accumulated to direct experience with life and people situation, including my knowledge that I have from various sources. I think that's almost impossible, not impossible, almost impossible to have a clique of people formed about, let's say, of about at least 10 that I can name, all these, Reznikov, Yermak, Zhmihal, Zelensky, somehow Zaluzny, Danilov, all these guys, Budanov, these guys are incorruptible. None of them is corrupt, but everybody else. And these guys have the power to screw everybody else. I find it very, very hard to believe that. I will give you one initial reason that you should start your research from. They're humans. Okay? That's the first one that you should start from. You don't have to look much further. And then if you want to look further, that's fine. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out later. All right. Well, that's all I had to say about this reign of terror that accelerates, and we have this incorruptible individual. You gotta be kidding. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.